My name is Timothy Lawson. I'm a student here at American University. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm a survivor of my own suicide attempts. I first experienced suicidal behavior when I was a teenager. I used to daydream about taking my own life and how the people around me would respond. I never attempted, though. It wasn't until early on in my military career, when I was taking leave to go back home and visit friends. At the time, I was experiencing emotional health issues, and while I was home, I began to feel shame, guilt, and a lack of hope about several things that were going on in my life. I was depressed, and I panicked. I went to the medicine cabinet, and I grabbed the first bottle of prescription pills that I could find, and I chased them down with a bottle of beer. I didn't even bother to look at the label. I just downed the pills, and I went to bed. I laid there in my room with no idea what was about to happen to me. I wasn't even sure if I was going to wake up the next morning. But I did wake up. I was extremely sick. But sick was better than dead. And I knew how fortunate I was to still have a heartbeat. This photo depicts that event by photographer Devin Mitchell. A few years later, I started to experience those same deadly emotions again. The scenario is a little bit more dangerous. I was on post. It was 1 a.m. at an embassy overseas. I was alone with 3 loaded firearms. This time, a phone call home to mom saved my life. I called her, I talked to her about what was going on in my life, and why I was contemplating suicide. She simply listened, and she did what she always does. She told me, "This too shall pass." And she was right. She's often right. All those things passed away, and I stand here today. But after 15 years of suicidal behavior, I want to understand it. I want to be able to prevent it. I'm here to talk to you about suicide prevention. But first, let's think about prevention. If I went to a doctor to show concern about heart disease, he or she would probably recommend nutrition, fitness, and overall care for my cardiovascular system. My doctor would not need to see me at risk for heart disease to recommend these preventative measures. I do not need to show symptoms for my doctor to be proactive about my physical health. Yet the culture around mental health, specifically suicide prevention, is currently reactive. We wait until we see the signs, then we act. Is this person talking about death often? Are they giving their belongings away? Do they seem distant or detached? I'm here to challenge us all to be proactive about suicidal behavior and suicide prevention. I've had hundreds, possibly even thousands of conversations with people about suicide, oftentimes their own suicide attempt. I've learned about what's gotten them to the ledge, and I've had the honor of learning what got them down. And I began to realize that there's 4 basic ideas that we can use and serve to one another to help prevent suicide. The first is empathy. Now, we can apply the golden rule or even the platinum rule here, but this is basic, simple empathy. This is getting to know one another, trying to learn each other's hardships, listening before we speak, and then asking questions when we've run out of things to say. I never attempted suicide as a teenager because my youth pastor showed genuine interest in my life before and after I talked to him about suicide. He was empathetic from the start. Second is purpose. Now, this is especially true in the veteran space, but it's something we can all relate to. We all want purpose. We all want opportunity. And a great example of that is this talk right here. A good friend of mine saw the call for speakers for this TED event, and he passed along the information to me because he thought I would be a good candidate. A simple gesture reminded me that I have purpose. Third idea is mentorship. Plenty of businessmen will tell you their road to success came with coaches and mentors along the way. We all want to be a mentor. I'm sure there's plenty of us that would enjoy being a mentor. We should be seeking people that we care about and taking them under our wing. We should be going to people that we respect and asking them to be our mentor. Mentorship is a two-way street. The mentor is experiencing that sense of purpose, and that mentee is experiencing empathy from their mentor. An active mentorship can save 2 lives. Now, I've delivered these ideas dozens of times, both professionally and personally. And I've learned that there's a 4th point. It took me a while to figure this one out, and I'm still not quite sure what to call it. But it's knowing that you matter. I had to look deep down inside my own suicidal tendencies to figure out what was keeping me alive. I've only attempted suicide once versus multiple times because I know that I matter. My mother will tell you all the different ways she wishes she was a better parent, but the one thing she did that kept me alive, she would reiterate how important I was to her. It wasn't just about how much she loved me, but how important my existence is to her. Now, if we consider these first 3 ideas surface level, first steps, if you will, this 4th point goes just a little bit beyond that. This is about truly communicating to one another that we matter. And when we're finished here today, I challenge you to go out and try it. Because it is surprisingly difficult to get this message across. Somehow society has made it uncomfortable because it's not just about telling someone that you like, having them around. It's about digging out your vulnerabilities and showing them to another person and saying, I feel protected and safe in our relationship. Parts of our interactions fulfill me mentally and emotionally, and I would feel significant amounts of pain and grief if you didn't hold this position in my life. I know this may sound a little overdramatic, but life is invaluable, and it's worth the extra effort to put into to save it, whether it's your own or someone else's. Most of my work has been in the veteran space, but I promise you these ideas transcend demographics. Empathy, purpose, mentorship, and knowing that you matter. If we can use these ideas, if we can apply them within our community, build off of them and add to them, effectively deliver them to one another, then we may have the privilege of never seeing the suicidal behavior that we're attempting to prevent. Thank you.